Okay, I think we're all good. We can start. We have no most of the participants now. All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everything is well on this rainy day. Okay, so allow me to introduce myself. My name is May Thomas, and I am the Senior Marketing Specialist of DISS. Now, on behalf of DISS, I would like to welcome you all, and of course, thank you for joining us in today's webinar in an overview of PMP certification, your path to becoming a highly skilled project manager with Mr. Adel Aliaskari. Okay. Before we start, I would like to give some guidelines and instructions to make this event more memorable for us. For everyone to fully enjoy and focus on the webinar, I would like to request for your microphone to be on mute while our speaker is presenting to avoid external sounds in the background. Number two, if you have any questions or clarification during the presentation, please note it down, or you can send a message in our chat room and we will answer it during our allotted question and answer portion towards the end of the webinar. Number three, if you're having any technical problems or issues, you can also send a message in the chat room. And lastly, it's not necessary for you to open your camera, but we do encourage you to do so because we will be posting in our social media accounts snapshots of these events and of course your photos, okay, of all the attendees. Clear? Great. And as I mentioned, let me introduce our speaker for today. Again, Mr. Adel Aliaskari. Mr. Adel has a wealth of project management consulting and training experience, and he has been working for more than 17 years as a senior project manager, PMO manager, and project planner in international pioneer companies. Also, Mr. Adel worked in various industries such as telecom, oil and gas, power, construction, and engineering. And in parallel, as a personal interest, he conducted hundreds of training courses ranging from basic to advanced project management, project knowledge throughout project management software and tools. He also worked closely and built trusting relationships with local and international organizations in government, private, and multinational sectors. So without further ado, let us all welcome Mr. Adel Aliaskari. So Mr. Adel, you may now take the floor.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. This is Adel, your presenter. It's a great pleasure to have you all in this meeting. Welcome to the PMP exam clarification and PMP exam preparation clarification meeting. Let me share my slides with you and start my explanation on my screen. Okay. You have my screen right now, am I right?
Yes, we can see it. Everybody can see it.
Is it clear for all? Yeah. My friends, let me open the discussion with a few questions. The question is that, for the first question, please review this question in your mind. What is the difference between the project, program, and portfolio? How we should manage each of them, and what is the difference between them? The second question is like this. What is the difference between the agile and waterfall project management? Or in other words, what is the difference between the predictive and the adaptive project management framework and styles? Do you know the difference between of them? What is the meaning of the CPI or Cost Performance Index or SPI, Schedule Performance Index, in earned value management analysis? Have you ever heard about them? How should we respond to the risk that has the high probability of occurrence and the high impact of their ranking? And the last question here is what is the Scrum and Kanban means? My friends, I can continue this list with other thousands of questions. Just I put a few questions here to arouse your curiosity about the project management and the topics that you are going to learn in the PMP exam preparation. Then the first thing that I want to transfer to you is that if your business is related to such a these criteria, or if you have to have such a these science and knowledge, or somehow these topics and so many other topics are related to your career path, then the PMP certificate and also PMP exam preparation course is right for you. Let me continue and start the topics. The PMP certification is issuing by the U.S. Project Management Institute. This institute established in the U.S. in the Pennsylvania in 1969, 53 years ago. This institute started to work under establishing and creating the project management standards, definition, and so many other things, but just focusing on the project management. My friend, if we back to 1,000 years ago, we know we had lots of the projects in the history. For example, the Great Pyramid of the Egypt, the Great Wall of China, or so many other things are the historical projects in all around the globe. But we don't know how those projects planned, managed, and executed. What I mean, I want to say is that the project management style, the project management science, and the project management certificates has not documented from those historical projects since 1969, 53 years ago, that an institute started to work in the US and told that we are doing the projects all around the globe. All the engineers is managing the projects and work in the projects, but we don't have any standard to manage the projects. Then let's ask the project managers all around the globe and gather the lessons learned from all of them, how they manage their projects. For example, they ask this question from an engineering in China, in Africa, in Asia, in Middle East, in North America, in South America, and all the lessons learned gathered from all around the globe. And in 1996, the first issue or the first version of the project management standard issued by the PMI Institute. The PMI is not only an American standard or institute, but also globally recognized as the main reference for the project management science. You can check their website, pmi.org is the official website, and you will learn and you will find so many things and topics about the project management in their website. If you remember, just right now, I told you they issued the first standard of the project management or the project management body of knowledge. We call it briefly the PMBOK. Let's have a review on the history and evolution of the PMBOK. As I told you, the first issue of the PMBOK published in 1996. As a usual custom, the PMI renewed the standard each 4 years based on the new requirement that they get from the industries, and they try to match and fix the standard with the new requirement in the business. Then it's the secondary version published in 2000, and we had the same sequence till 2018 that we had the sixth version of the PMBOK. In 2021, or recently, we have the seventh version of the PMBOK. If we back to the history, if we back to the date before the January of 2021, the main reference for the PMP exam was the PMBOK standard. It means before the January 2021. If you want to attend it in the PMP exam, most of your questions came from the PMBOK standard. And knowing, understanding, and having the enough knowledge about the PMBOK topics and discussions was enough to pass the PMP exam. But the PMP exam had been changed drastically in last January, in January 2021, 1 year and 6 months back. Then after that date, having the knowledge of the PMBOK is not enough to pass the PMP exam. They added so many other topics from the other references. For example, so many agile questions, so many hybrid questions, and the other topics, and also the exam content changed drastically. Now, if you want to pass the PMP successfully, you have to review lots of the references and lots of the materials. Let me go to the references and materials of the PMP, but before that, we want to know What is the PMP? The PMP is the world's leading and most famous certificate in project management. It stands for project management professional, and it shows that you have the enough knowledge of the project management in addition of the experience, and you know how to implement that knowledge in the practical situation or experience. This is not a university degree. It is not only evaluate your knowledge, they evaluate your understanding of your knowledge. The most of the questions is the situational question in PMP exam. For example, ask you, you are the project manager, you are facing this situation and this problem is affected your team. What is your resolution? And in the option of the answer, give you 5 options and you have to choose the best option to show that you know how to treat the problems and how you resolve the problem based on your experience and the knowledge that the PMI is provided for you. My friends, as I told you, the PMI or Project Management Institute provided lots of the knowledge and standards. What is those standards and knowledge? In addition of the most famous of them, the PMP, the institute has the standard for the for the program management or the PGMP certificate. Also, the institute provided the standard for the portfolio management, the PFMP. If you are interested in the agile project management or something like this, PMI ACP is another certificate for you. Also, you can see the list of the other certificates in this fact sheet. This fact sheet provided by the PMI. And as you can see, the number of each certificate holder mentioned here. As you can see, the PMP exams till now included more than 1.2 million people all around the globe that get this certification, and hopefully you will join this club very soon. And the certificate holder for other certificates mentioned here, for example, as you can see, around the 1,000 people has the PFMP and 3,000.5 has the PGMP certificate. Anyway, in this session, we want to focus on the most famous and most favorite certificate of the project management or PMP all around the globe. Before going to the next slide, just want to clarify that. Is the PMP only certification in the project management? No, we have the other certification. For example, the UK standard for the project management, the Prince 2, projects in controlled environment, is another standard for the project management. And also they are issuing the certificate for the Prince 2 in 2 levels, in the basic and in the practitioner, in the foundation and in the practitioner level. But for sure, the most globally recognized standard or certificate all around the globe, and specifically including in the Middle East countries, is the PMP certification. Okay, then what is the benefit of getting this certification? Why we have to get the PMP certified? Or the question is that, is the PMP certification right for me? Is that adding something to my career path or to my job promotion? Let me review rapidly the benefits of getting the PMP certification. At first, you will enhance your career opportunities. Just to prove that, my friend, I did a search just before this meeting in the LinkedIn job search. 20 minutes ago, I did a job search in LinkedIn website with the key of the PMP and in the worldwide or globally. I found near 1 million job opportunities that require the PMP certification as a keyword. Again, 1 million jobs globally is expecting the applicant to show them their PMP certificate. Then there is no need to more explanation how the PMP certification can enhance your career opportunities. The second benefit could be like this. You will be recognized as an experienced professional. As I told you, the PMP is not assessing your knowledge, it's assessing your understanding on the practical implementation and exerting the knowledge in the practical situation. The third benefit can be you will speak the right language. For example, if someone told that the critical path method in scheduling, you know what it means. If someone asks you about the sprint and the sprint duration, you know what it means. If someone asks you about the user story or something like this, you know what those are meaning. Also, the PMP will earn the new skill for you. Let me have more explanation here. As I told you, till January 2021, the main the main reference for the PMP exam was the PMBOK. And on that time, the latest version of the PMBOK was the sixth version of the PMBOK. After January 2021, the content of the exam drastically changed and they added so many new things there. My friends, the sixth version and already versions of the PMBOK just focus on the on the predictive project management. It means if you are working in the oil and gas projects, if you are working in the construction and the other things, and you are experienced on these projects, then the PMBOK was enough for you to pass the exam. But in the 2021 January, something added to the exam, including the agile project management and the hybrid project management. In a few slides later, I'm going to explain the waterfall and agile for you to get the big picture of the exam content, but just want to transfer these notes to you. My friends, if you are experienced and knowledge in the projects such as the construction and other things, you have to learn so many other things from the agile project to be eligible to pass the exam successfully. Then for sure, the PMP exam preparation will learn you so many other skills and knowledge that you didn't heard till now. Also, you will probably, I cannot promise it, but you will probably earn more money after getting the PMP certification. Based on the statistics that the PMI publish in their website, the people that has the PMP certification will receive 25 percentage more than the people in the same level of the experience in North America and in the US. These statistics refer to the North America and the US, but the situation is same all around the globe. In Middle East, the people who has the PMP is earning more than the other same people in the same level of the experience and the knowledge. And also you will demonstrate your dedication to the project management. It means I'm showing to your client, to your co-workers that you are care about the project management. You are doing your best to enhance your ability in project management knowledge, and also you will continue your learning in the project management specialty. Then, how can I attend or register for the PMP exam, or am I eligible to register for the PMP exam? I told you the PMP exam required you the work experience or the working hours from you. The eligibility of sitting at the exam or taking part or registering for the exam is divided into two categories. The category one for the people who has the Bachelor of Science or the university degree. It can be Bachelor of Art or anyway the 4-year university degree, including in the category one. And the people who didn't pass the university and has the highest school certificate is dedicated to category two. I'm sure all of us is dedicating to the first category and all of us pass the 4 years university degree. Then let me focus and explain the category one for you. In category one, in addition of your certificates, you need to have or show the PMI 36 months experience or 3 years of experience. Also, in these past 3 years, you have to work for 4,500 hours in the project management field. The first question, I have the Bachelor of Science. Also, I worked for more than 3 years, but not exactly as the project manager. Is it possible? Is it necessary to work exactly as the position of the project management? No. This experience means that you have to work as the project management teams. What it means, For example, if you provided the project schedule, if you were the responsible guy for communicating the stakeholders, if you are working on the identifying the stakeholder requirement, if you are doing the cost control, if you are working as the HSE expert or any other part of the project, it is acceptable by the PMI. Then the point here is that 3 years of experience is not including only the project manager roles. It can be any role, including in project management team. Also, as the latest requirement, you have to show 35 hours of the training. If you attend in our PMP exam preparation course, we will provide you the certificate to show you that you passed the 35 hours in the training, and you will get the latest eligibility requirement to take part and sit at the PMP exam. Okay, let's go ahead about the exam, the real exam. In the exam, you have to answer 180 questions in 230 minutes or near 4 hours. Again, 180 questions in 4 hours. It means roughly you have 2 minutes to answer each question, roughly. Also, you can utilize 2 10 minutes break for the computer-based test. What is the computer-based test? Before coronavirus pandemic, you have to attend in a center, an authorized center. The center including in all around the globe, in lots of the countries, and also in Doha and Qatar, other cities of Qatar. As I checked, we have the authorized centers. The authorized center or company is the Pearson company. The Pearson is the sub vendor or the company that all the PMI exams outsource to them. The Pearson is globally is the testing center. For example, they may conduct the TOEFL exam, they may conduct the GMAT exam, they may conduct the IELTS exam or anything else, and including the PMI certifications. Before the pandemic, you must attend it in one of the centers of the Pearsons and take part in the exam. But after the pandemic, they also provide you and offer you the online exams. But this is the protected online exam. What it means, you can register, and when you finalize your registration in the exam, you can choose for the center or online. In the center, you will recognize and you will assign one of the centers that near to your home or your office and will attend on the center and take part the exam. But in the online, you will pass the exam and take the exam from your home or from your office. It is up to you. But just you have to provide a quiet and a silent atmosphere on the exam date. This is the online protected exam. It means by your laptop's camera, the examiner or the exam controller is checking you online. Before the exam, they ask you and they will call you to clear the desk. They will call you and ask you to turn on your camera and show them your desk. You have to close your room's door. You are not authorized to talk with anyone during the exam. If you look on the right or left or any other side for the line time, for example, for 1 minute, the examiner stop the exam and ask you to just look at the monitor. And this is how they are controlling for the any likelihood cheating in the exam. My suggestion for you is that if you have any center near your office and you have in Doha, my suggestion for you is taking part in the center instead of the online exam, because the center is already facilitated and provided a quiet environment for you to sit and pass the exam easily. Then this is about the exam, a 180 question in 230 minutes, online or test center based. Also, there is no added penalty for the selecting incorrect answers. Then my first advice for you before attending in the exam preparation course is that if you don't have any idea about any question in the PMP exam, don't leave it empty. Choose by chance because there is not any penalty for the wrong answers. Also, the passing score, how much is the passing score? The PMI didn't clarify it till now, but roughly the passing score is somewhere between 61 percentage till 69 percentage. It's fluctuated somewhere between these two amounts, and roughly you have to answer 107 questions right out of 180 questions. Okay, how about the enrollment on the exams? If you want to enroll in the exams, I summarized your steps here. At first, you have to go to the PMI website and create your profile. It is free of charge. You can go right now after the session to the pmi.org. They will ask you your name, family, email address, and some registration steps. Very easily, they will create your profile. Then this is the first step to take part or enroll in the process. Then in the second step, you have to complete and submit the online application. What is the online application? We had three requirements: your university degree, your 3 years experience, and also your 35 hours of the training on project management. They ask you to claim those three requirements in their website. For example, I mean that I claim that I have passed the university degree in X university. Also, you will get the work experience that cover those 36 months and 4,500 working hours in three companies. For example, from the date of X to date of Y, I work in those companies and my duties and responsibilities include my explanation. I will put the information and just claim that, and the PMI, almost all the cases, will pass and accept your claimed application requirements without any audit. It means as you claim, if you pass the requirements, the PMI will accept it. By the chance of 1 in 1 million, you will choose for the audit process. What it means? By the chance, the PMI choose 1 per 1 million or 1,000 of the persons to show them their certificates and demonstrate their proof. For example, if you told that I'm working on that company as the work experience, they provided your claimed work experience in a PDF file and send it to your profile in the PMI, ask you to download this PDF file and sign and stamp it by your company and send them back this certificate. Also, they may ask you to show them your certificate after 35 hours training on the project management. Uh, Before the date that I don't remember the exact date, you have to send them and you have to provide those documents and send them by the courier, by the mail, by the postmail to the US in the Pennsylvania. But fortunately, these days, this auditing process is uh, online and you can upload your certificate by online websites and there is no need to send the hard copy by the courier. Then it made it more easy. And just to show that the audit is not something awful, I have to say that I was one of the persons that choose for the audit by the chance. That was not difficult at all. Just provided my certification and just you need 1 week or 2 weeks to send and receive the information by the PMI. But don't forget that the PMI requires you the copy of your certification because they will not send it back to you. Okay? Okay, let's go to the third step. Wait for confirmation of completeness. They are reviewing your uploaded documents and your claimed information. I'm sure the auditing and the reviewing is not doing by the person. The machine and the software is checking them, and after completion the requirements, they will give you an email that shows that you are eligible to sit at the PMP exam or register for the PMP exam. This eligibility will be valid for 1 year. Again, his eligibility is only valid for 1 year. It means after receiving such a that email, you have 1 year You have 1 year span of the time to register for the PMP exam. In the fourth step, you have to, if you choose for the audit, you have to complete the audit, already explained. In the fifth step, you have to pay the credential fee and the PMP exam cost. A few later explain how much it costs. And in the sixth step, you have to prepare yourself for the exam. And in the seventh one, you have to schedule it to pass it in the center or do it online. And after that, hopefully, you will pass the exam. And how much it will cost for us to pass the PMP certificate or get the PMP exam. At first, you can join the PMI and being the member of the PMI, and it costs you 139 US dollar. It is not essential and it is not a must to be the PMI member. You can be and you can reserve your exam without the membership of the PMI, and it will cost you 555 US dollar. But my advice is that at first, please make yourself as the PMI members. What is the benefit of being PMI member? In addition of the discount in your exam rate, you will have the access to the all standards of the PMI to download them. It means you can have your own PMBOK version download from the PMI website, PFMP, so many other practical standards, also the magazines. You have the discounts for the webinars, for the seminars, and so many other things. Then the advice is that at first, make yourself the PMI member. The second one, if you are the PMI member, your cost for registering in the exam is 405 US dollar. 405 US dollar. You can see the 405 plus 139 is same as 555. But I told you it's better to make the PMI members to have the benefits of the membership, and after that you can go to the next step. If you fail in the exam and you want to retake in the exam, for the PMI members, it costs 275 US dollar, and for the non-PMI, you have to pay 100 more than the PMI members, 375 US dollar. Okay, let's go to the content of the exam. That was about the eligibility, process, requirement, and the cost of the PMP exam preparation. Now I accepted or passed all the steps, and now I want to go to the exam content. Which questions I have to wait for the PMP exam? At first, let's review the exam content outlines. This is based on the latest change on the January 2021. The PMP exam content, including the three main domains, the people domains, the process domains, and the business environment domains. And as you can see, the percentage of questions for each domain, including 42% from people, 50% from process, and 8% from business environment. Briefly, you have two main domains, the people and process, that include more than 90% of the question. But what is those domains? For example, in the people domain, you have to know or you ask the questions about manage the conflicts, how to manage the conflicts in the project environment, how to lead the team, how to create a team in the project management environment, how to manage the stakeholders is another topic in the people knowledge. Build the team and also motivate and the ground rules of the teams is another topics in the people exam content domains. And in the process, as it's clear from its name, you ask about the questions such as how to create a project deliverable or scope, how you plan the project and budget the project, how to provide the schedule of the project, how you manage your resources, how we can face the change during the project, how we can manage the issues and risks, and also how to communicate the project teams is other topics in the process. And in the other word or from the other aspects, we can divide the questions to this table. As you can see, we have the three main domains of the people, process, and business. And as I told you, generally we have two attitudes throughout the project management, the predictive, agile, and hybrid. Just let me check, sorry for the question in the chat box. If there is any question, yeah, no question till now. Let me continue my explanation. We have the predictive or the waterfall project management, and half of the question, or 50% or 90 questions out of 180 questions comes from the predictive. And the agile and hybrid, including the other 50% of questions or other 90 questions, comes from the agile and hybrid. We will see the detailed budgeting of the question, for example, in the people domain, and from the predictive, you will have the 21% or 38%, and the other budgeting is clarified here. I don't want to go to the lowest level of the detail of the exam questions, just want to give you this point. Half of the questions comes from the predictive, half of the other questions comes from the agile and hybrid. But what is the predictive and adaptive that I refer to them many times? Let's clarify that, because the question comes from these two areas, predictive or adaptive and hybrid. Okay, my friends, generally, we have two orientations towards the project management knowledge or science. What are those orientations? In one side of the spectrum, if I simulate it or similar it to a spectrum, in one side, we have the predictive project management, or as called the waterfall. In the predictive project management, the project management teams, including the project manager and all other responsible guys, can define the scope or deliverable of the project in advance. What it means, for example, you have do lots of the petrochemical plants. You have do lots of the oil and gas projects, construction of the bridge, construction a building, and so many other projects that you are experienced in them. You know their steps, and you can define their phases one by one and create their plan in advance is belong to the predictives. It means the phases of the projects, designed or planned at the beginning stage of the project as a queue or as a line, each phase after its previous phases. And we can have the project is planned, including the schedule, the budget, and the scope of the project in advance or initial phases of project. Then we call it as the predictive or waterfall project. But there are the other type of the project management or project that we don't know anything about them at the beginning stage of the project. What I mean, for example, I cannot define the scope of the project or deliverables in the detail level, or maybe I have lots of the probabilities in the project or the question about the content of the project. Then when I cannot define the scope of the project, I cannot define the schedule of the project. Also, I cannot provide a budget of the project as a whole. How is it possible? We call it as the adaptive or agile projects. My friend, pay attention to an example. Let's refer to cell phone devices that all of us have in these days. For example, one of the applications in your cell phone is the online payment or banking systems or the banking applications that you have. I'm sure you have such these banking application in your cell phone mobile, and you are doing your payment, your banking issues, or all the things without requirement of referring to the ATM or bank branch these days. Let's back to the first day of this application invitation or creation. Just a requirement started in a mind of a person and told that, is it possible to handle the banking works or banking issues without requiring to refer to ATM? Is it possible? Let's evaluate that. We don't know. Let's go step by step together. If someone asks what is the scope of this project, I don't know. I just have only one idea in my mind. Let's go step by step together and graduate this idea and evaluate, is it possible to do this idea and implement it as a project or not. If someone else comes to you and asks you how much is the budget of this project or how long this project takes, you answer that I don't know. I don't know because I have only an idea in my mind. And we have lots of these projects in the IT industries, in telecom industries, and generally in the knowledge-based industries. We call them as the adaptive or agile projects. I can have more explanation about the predictive and adaptive, but just for this session, I think it is enough to know what is the predictive and what is the adaptive. And we have a combination between the predictive and adaptive. It means such characteristic comes from the predictive and gets some characteristic from the adaptive as the hybrid. Then back to the question budgeting. 50% of your questions comes from the predictive knowledge and other 50 questions come from the agile and hybrid. Then the important point here is that if you are an experienced project in the petrochemical, in the construction, in other projects that are predictive, you can only by maximum answer 50% of questions because most probably you don't know anything about the agile and hybrid. And if you are from another side, if you are an engineer in the IT industries or you are a project manager in the telecom industries, you may only answer the 50% of questions from the agile and hybrid. You have to know how the project is planning, implementing, control, and execute in the predictive project life cycle. We will cover both of the topics and all the topics in our exam preparation courses. Let's go ahead and start to understand the type of the questions in the PMP exam. The type of the questions before the change in to January 2021, I'm pinpointing that milestone a lot of times. Before that, the question was only the multiple choice, and the question number was 200. You had to answer 200 questions in the previous exam content. But in the recently changed, it's reduced to 180, 20 questions removed. Anyway, on that time, the question was only the multiple choice. What it means? A question given to you with the 4 answers or 4 options, and you have to choose only one options out of 4. We call it as the multiple choice. But after the change, we have the multiple correct. It means after the question, maybe 4, 5, 6, or 7 options give to you, and the question asks you, please choose 3 right options out of these 4 or 5 or 6. And you have to choose all of them right. If you choose 2 right with a wrong answer, you will lose the rank or the point of this question. The next question type is the drag and drop or matching. Some boxes in the left and other boxes in the right will give it to you. You have to match the left side with the right side. Fill in the blank is another type of the question, and hotspot question is the graphical question that's showing you something in the graph and ask you a question about the graphs. But anyway, my friends, almost all the questions is dedicated and come from the second and first type of the question. It means rarely drag and drop, fill in the blank, and hotspot question asks you. Almost all the questions are multiple choice and multiple correct. Let's have such a challenge for you. I know you don't know anything about the PMP, but let's answer some questions. Please answer this question. Oh, yeah, it is a start from the next topic. Before the challenge, the PMP exam ask you to truly test your deeper understanding of project management. I told you almost all the questions are situational. Do not ask you directly about the meaning and the processes in project management. You may have designed, the question is designed to test both of your understanding and practical application of the PM knowledge, and the PMP exam question are posed in various ways to ensure that you know the material completely. You get the knowledge of the PMP completely. Now let's go to answer such question. I'm checking the chat box. Please write down the correct answer in the chat box. The question is that what are the what are the rules about the length of a sprint? What is the sprint? I don't know. Anyway, the options are 1 week, 2 week, 2 to 4 week, up to 12 weeks. Please write down your answer in the chat box. I'm checking the chat box. My friends, I'm checking the chat box. Yeah, I have at first I have to explain what is the sprint. This is the challenge and the question that I want to give you or face you with them. You don't know what is the sprint, and you don't know so many other things about the project management. And the explanation, the complete explanation will give you in the exam preparation course. But just for this time, the sprint comes from the Scrum. What is the Scrum? Scrum is one of the methodologies for managing the agile projects. If you remember, we had two orientations toward the project management, the waterfall or predictive, the agile or adaptive. In agile project management, we have lots of the framework and the ways of the implementation of agile project. One of them is a Scrum. And in Scrum, we have four events. Four events. The main event is the sprint. A sprint is the time box duration of time that the project team focus on this time box duration just for this time. Then please mention your answer in the chat box, A or B or C or D. Yep. The answer A. Mr. Munzer says A. How about the other ones? My friends, we don't have the penalty for the wrong answers in the PMP exam. That was my first things that I gave to you. If you don't have any idea, choose by chance. A, C, B, A. Most of the answer goes to A, as I checked till now. B. The right answer is C. The duration of the sprints should not less than 2 weeks and must not exceed 4 weeks. Then the right answer is C. Okay, let's try another question. The next question is that which of the following is not a pestle factor? What is the pestle? I don't know. But anyway, let's go to the options. The first one is legal, B is effectiveness, C is social, and D is political. Pestle factor. Which one is not a pestle factor? A, B, or C, or D? D, political. D. B, effectiveness. B, again. A, legal, okay? B, effectiveness. B. At first, let's explain what is B. My friends, we don't do the project in an isolated environment and in a laboratory. We do the project in a real world. We do the project in a real world. To do the project in a real world, it means to plan the project, to execute the project, and to manage and control the projects. At first, we have to know the environment of our projects. Without knowing or understanding the environment of project, we cannot plan the project correctly. Okay? One of the tools and techniques to do the analysis on identifying and understanding the environment of the project is the PESTEL analysis. The PESTEL stands for P for political, E for economical, S for social, T for technical, L for legal, and E for environmental. It means if you have these 360-degree evaluation to identify the political, economical, social, technical, legal, and environmental characteristic of your project, then you will get the 100% understanding of your project. And as I explained, the effectiveness was not one of the factors in the PESTEL analysis. Just for your information, the PESTEL is the tools and technique to identify the risk. You can use and utilize it in addition of the environment understanding to identify the risk. Then the right answer is B, or effectiveness. The last question for this time is that, let me minimize the chat box. This is another type of the question, multiple choice, I told you. Look at that, the question told that you have to choose 2 options out of 5 options, okay? The question is that you will need 6 professional security guards for 4 hours during the evening of the public meeting. What contractual considerations are important as you select the security firm who will provide the guards? You have to choose 2 options. And if you choose one of them right and the other one wrong, you will lose the points. Both of the 2 or 3 required options should choose rightly to get the point. The first one is that cost reimbursable contract, B, fixed price, C, term contract, D, completion contract, and E, cost plus incentive fee contract. Those are something new for you. Maybe you didn't heard about the fixed price contract or cost reimbursable contract. You may not heard them, but this is the another example of the thousands of the topics that we will have in the PMP exam preparation. Just want to give you another point. If you don't want to take part in the exam, but you want to increase your knowledge about the project management, then the PMP exam preparation is applicable for you. Anyway, let's go to the question B and D. Fixed price contract and completion contract. Okay, another answers? A and C, cost reimbursable and term contract. The right answer is B and C, fixed price contract and term contract. What is the fixed price and what is the cost reimbursable? Just want to give you, we have 2 main types of the contract, specifically and exactly 3 types. The first one is the fixed price. The price of the contract is fixed at the beginning and before start the work. The next type of the contract is cost reimbursable. The cost is not fixed, just we agreed on the unit. The volume or the quantity may be different. For example, when you have the underground excavation, we cannot decide about the exact volume of the work on the underground excavation. Then the cost reimbursable contract may be the best choice instead of the fixed price. And also we have the third type of the time and material contract type, but it is using for the small scale of the projects. In the big scale projects, we have 2 types of the fixed price and cost reimbursable. And here, this is the fixed price contract, and term of the contract is important to consider when you sign a fixed price contract. Then the right answer is B and C. Okay, thank you, my friends. Just want to check that after passing the PMP exam and getting the PMP certificate, inshallah, and hopefully, this certificate will be valid for 3 years. Again, the PMP certificate will be valid for 3 years. And in each 3 years, there is no need to retake the exam. Just you need to claim 60 professional development units or PDUs in your PMI profile. What it means, you have to show the PMI that you are continuing to learn new things about the project management, and also you are sharing your knowledge with the others. Then the two main categories of the PDUs, or the category that you can get the PDUs, is the first one is the continuous learning. The second one is the sharing the knowledge. You can claim your PDUs in your profile. For example, if you attend in a training class, you can get the PDUs. If you read a book about the project management, it has the PDUs. If you attend in a volunteer activities, it can have the PDUs. If you are doing in the professional way in your project, it will have the PDUs. The PDUs gathering is very simple. There is no worries about that. You will do it easily by just claiming them, and all the claim will approve automatically without any challenge. Without any challenge and audit, your claimed PDUs will be approved. But after 3 years, you need to pay 150 US dollar for the non-members, and also the discount including for the PMI members to renew their certification. For example, I got my PMP certificate in 2010, 12 years ago, and till now I renewed it for 4 or 5 times. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, this is a continuous connection and communication with the PMI to show them that I'm continuing my learning, and also I'm care about the project management in my career path. I still care about the project management. Okay, my friends, thank you very much. That was my explanation, and also our time is over, but I'm here to answer your questions. If you have any questions, let me back to the chat box. If you have any question, I'm at your service to answer your question. You can write down your question in chat box. I'm checking the chat box.
I think no one is adding there. I mean, they don't have any questions, but I would like to take this opportunity to thanks everyone to join on this free webinar for PMP, and who would like, I mean, those who attended, we'll be sending you our schedule, and I think May will going to provide you the information about our discounted rates. Also, we will give you a chance to join with further discount, and update you from time to time regarding the schedule. So from my side, really appreciate for those who attended and given their time to attend this PMP webinar class, and to Adel, of course, appreciate your time.
You're welcome, and thank you all for your attending, and hope to see you again here. Just a question about the sharing the PowerPoint material. Yes, I already shared the PowerPoint material, and my friends will send you back in your invitation email. We can share the material with you.
Yes, we will be sharing the material, the presentation of Mr. Adel, and also a recording of this session, so you can watch and go back and watch it later on. And of course, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Adel.
You're welcome, May. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good day.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.